Hello, peoples. Welcome back to another video. Sorry for the delay. I know it might just sound like I'm making excuses at this point, but it does take a long time to write these scripts since I can only really write them in my free time at school, and I've been, really bogged down with schoolwork recently. Also, I can't really write my scripts instead of playing War Thunder, for I need footage of gameplay, and I get that when I play, and so on. Anyways, I'm back, and there will be a new video coming this weekend, I promise you. Today, I'll be going over the VL Pyörremyrsky, a battle rating 4.3 premium fighter in the Swedish tech tree, flying for Finland. Please like and subscribe, it literally doesn't cost you anything, and as I am still a very small YouTuber, it genuinely helps out a lot. Enough boring yap and time for the actually interesting yapping. I'm probably going to butcher some of these words, but here goes. The VL Pyörremyrsky has a very interesting history. Pyörremyrsky means whirlwind or hurricane in Finnish, Pyörre meaning vortex or whirl, and Myrsky meaning storm. It was designed by Torsti Rafael Verkola, the chief designer of Valshan Lentokonettas, the state aircraft factory, as a domestic equivalent of the Messerschmitt Bf-109G. On the 26th of November 1942, the Finnish Air Force requested 2 prototype Pyörremyrskys to be built. One prototype was cancelled and only one was ever built. The Finnish Air Force used code letters PM, gaining the aircraft the nickname Puumersu, wooden Messerschmitt, and the 1 was the airframe number. PM was an abbreviation for Pyörremyrsky. It was very similar to the Bf-109G, but there are a few modifications. The biggest difference was the airframe, being made mainly out of wood and steel rather than fully metal like the Bf-109. It was powered by the same Daimler-Benz DB605 engine and had the same armament, apart from different external loads, and very similar flight performance. It first flew on November 21st, 1945, piloted by Esko Halm. After some modifications, it was deemed a success as it could outturn and outclimb Bf-109G6, and was almost ready for mass production, but the combined problems of low-quality glue used in production, the introduction of jet engines slowly making propeller-engined aircraft obsolete, and World War II ending meant it was never produced in large numbers. The Pyörremyrsky prototype was grounded after only 27 hours of flying, and the program ended as funding stopped after the war ended. In War Thunder, we have the VL Pyörremyrsky, a rank 3 premium fighter aircraft flying for Sweden. It sits at battle rating of 4.3, costing 1,600 golden eagles to buy and 10,000 silver lions to crew. The VL Pyörremyrsky has very capable flight characteristics, a good climb rate, amazing turn time surpassed only by Spitfires, Zeros, and the Italian C-205. It stands as a middle point between the Bf-109G and the Yak-3. It's also a very stable gun platform, and lining up shots is very easy due to its great rudder control. The Pyörremyrsky has a decent top speed of 620 km an hour in a straight line, but wing drip at a ridiculously high speed of 790 km an hour, giving amazing boom and zoom potential. You get combat, takeoff, and landing flaps, but the flaps aren't very effective. You should use the Pyörremyrsky as a boom and zoom fighter, climb and dive on enemies below you, or play as a traditional fighter. Just remember to avoid dogfights with Spitfires, Zeros, and some of the more maneuverable Italian fighters. The Pyörremyrsky has quite similar armament to the Bf-109. You get one 20mm MG-151 cannon with 150 rounds and two 12.7mm LKK-42 machine guns with 300 rounds each. All of the guns are nose-mounted, meaning you don't have to worry about gun convergence, and head-on attacks are easy. I like to use the tracer belts for the machine guns and either the tracers or air target belts for the cannon. The aircraft has only one spar on each wing, making it a fairly fragile aircraft when under heavy fire, and the wooden airframe increases the chances of fire, so be careful when engaging any enemies and try to use your good performance to evade enemies that are more maneuverable than you. You have a combined total of 20mm of steel armoring behind the pilot, but no frontal protection, so be careful in head-ons and if you go bomber hunting. The VL Pyörremyrsky has a relatively good bomb load too, either 4 50kg bombs or 4 100kg bombs. The 100kg bombs have good explosive mass and don't hinder your flight performance too much, and with a bit of practice can be lethal in ground RB. I've had amazing games flying for close air support, having a few games with more than 8 kills in the Myrsky alone. It's a hugely fun and very easy cast plane to fly. I like to fly real low, about 50 meters above the ground and bonk enemies as I find this easier and more accurate, but you can just as easily dive bomb with your great dive performance. Visually, the VL Pyörremyrsky is a bit of a weird looking plane. Has a slight gull wing which gives it really good maneuverability, but a bit of a strange but cool frontal profile. However, I personally really dislike the default paint skin. It's an ugly shade of greenish brown, and the bottom of the aircraft is painted in a real pale blue, which I also dislike. Luckily, you do get some skins you can buy off the Gaijin market, or download off War Thunder Live. I personally love the camouflage I'm using in this video. The darker greens and blacks along with the white highlights I think looks really nice. From the side, the Pyörremyrsky has a noticeably long nose, which looks a bit funny. Few people like it, few don't. I personally don't mind it, but it does kind of look like a bullseye. Landing is pretty easy. Nice wide gear and alright brakes. I haven't really had a problem with the Pyörremyrsky flipping on landings, but it's happened a few times. But I've never had any critical damage not being able to repair after I flipped. The cockpit is mediocre. The instruments are very easy to find and read, but there's a lot of bracing obstructing your view. Upwards visibility is alright, but front and side views are very blocked off by bracing. I wouldn't recommend playing this aircraft in sim battles or in VR. My conclusion on the VL Pyörremyrsky. This aircraft has great flight performance, good guns, and is a premium, giving you big RP and SL bonuses. Good climb rate, turn time, and armament make this plane a joy to fly. Because it's a premium aircraft, you get the bombs as soon as you get it, which means you don't need to grind out any modifications and get to ground pounding straight away. Be one of toxic players in ground RB. I've had many players on the enemy team get very angry at me because of how well this thing does in a casserole. I think the only real downsides to this vehicle are the cockpit and the fact that it doesn't have the strongest airframe. I would very highly recommend buying this plane. $16 is real cheap for something this fun, and if you wait till sale it's only 800 golden eagles. In other words, get this plane if you can. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, please, again, consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. And also, if you made it this far, I'll tell you the next video will be on the Saab 2012-48. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.